We are also going to look at the judiciary and shall ask ourselves, why were these laws made and who made this law and for what purpose? Were these laws made to injure and punish the poor, to have them last in poverty? Or were these laws made for the rich people, or to punish young people who have no employment, who have nowhere to go? When they see something like marijuana, to actually treat their emotions, they are arrested and beaten and thrown in jail. Is that what we want with the judiciary? Or do we want to have a new mechanism of judiciary so that people can participate in that judiciary to have proper judicial outcome? Or do we have to have this archaic law from Britain? These punitive laws that were brought in by the colonial masters. And we are told, this is the law, you have to follow it. Whose law is it? We have to introduce what we call subaltern laws, laws of the people. And the only way we can introduce laws of the people is to suspend the Constitution, to suspend part of that Constitution, to suspend the Constitution. When I say suspend the Constitution, the first people to attack me are those people in suits and ties, people who purport to have gone to school, people who purport to know that law is made to be a law. Tunafuata sheria, tunafuata sheria. Hiyo sheria mkifuata namna hivyo, tunaungua. Ukienda nchi zingine watu wamesema pana, let us have alternative dispute mechanism. Ili mtu akiiba kuku ya mtu, tujue ni kwa nini aliiba hiyo kuku ya mtu. Aliiba hiyo kuku ya mtu akiwa na njaa, ndiye achinjie watoto wake wakule to survive. Survival for this. Ama unashikwa na polisi, huwezi kuulizwa kwa nini umeiba. Can we call the owner of the chicken and ask him, look in my eyes. If you are angry like this man, and your children were sleeping hungry, and maybe has a wife who has given birth and there's nothing the wife can eat to maintain the child, and maybe he was afraid that if he asked you, you'll chase him away, would you really do this kind of thing? Therefore, we need reconciliation at all levels. We need reconciliation at all levels. We need to talk to each other. We need laws that harmonize relationships between people or the hemp tribe. We don't need now to call the police and the chief. Something like Changa. A child came to my home recently, a little boy, and he said, "Dad, I want you to listen to me." Then I said, "What is it?" He said, "I've passed my exam. My mom brews Changa. I can't go to school because the Changa that was brewed yesterday to be taken to Marach Estate in Busia, the chief came and threw it away. Therefore, I have no money to go to school." What would you do to such a kind of a child? Ladies and gentlemen, what will you do to such kind of child? What will you do to that chief who comes to pour that drink to deny this boy or this girl a chance? Answer me. Answer me. What would you do if you go home and you find that something very petty has led to someone being arrested and denied his life? What I did is I said, "Son, I'll take you to school. And my PA is here. Wambua, stand up." That's the guy who does everything that I do. I told him, find out where the school is. Of course, it was just next to me. And get fee for that kid to be paid for a year. On top of that, we also gave a stipend. And as I speak, there is also a young Maasai man in this room. Where's Nchoko? That young man, I met him when he was in Stare Boys. His socks were torn. It was at YWCA. And he came to me and he's like, "I am an orphan. That's why I'm in Stare." But I always thought that Stare Boys was for the best. I didn't know that it was for the orphans. Then I realized that his socks was torn. And I said, "Haven't they given you school you were?" He said, "No. The rest is up to him. He has already graduated with Bachelor of Commerce from Mount Kenya University, courtesy of our office." But then do we need to tell the world with whatever little that we do? Do we need to brag that we have done this and this and that? That's why we go wrong with the political entities in this country. They do something small, they want cameras to follow them so that they are seen to be doing what they have to do. Now, Before I continue, let's now look at that, our manifesto. I will start by saying, number one, I don't know whether you can hear me. If you have access, or if your eyes have access to the shutters on the ground, and on the top of the room, our manifesto number one says we shall legalize weed. But I would like Dr. Guada to come and stand near me, because that man is a blueprint of information that this country has refused to follow. This man has of recent advised a president in the neighboring country to start marijuana, and he has started it, though I will not name the president. Professor, if I go wrong, just pardon me and take over. But because of time, I'll go very fast. Number one, 1 acre of Bangi can earn you $78,000 or 8 million per harvest. Per harvest. A harvest takes only 6 months. Now, if you have to harvest, that is 16 months, you earn 16 million. Of course, it will come with the tax implications, so that you can raise money and revenue for the government to continue with what it ought to do. The whole of Nyeri county is 583,000 acres. This means that if we grew bank in Nyeri County, Nyeri residents will earn 45 billion US dollars or 4.6 trillion per harvest. Kenya today owes China, or the debt we have today is $10 trillion. Yengine, is that where we, where's number one? Where's number one? I thought we started with number one. Yes. And because Banki is harvested twice a year, it means Nyeri residents will earn $92 billion or 9.2 trillion every year. This means if you grew bank for export, Nyeri is in 1 year, will earn the equivalent of Ethiopia's GDP. If we grew bank in Nyeri alone, as you see, each Kenyan could get a dividend check. In Nyeri, each Kenyan would get a dividend check of 200,000 Kenya shillings every year from the sale of Bangi. That's Nyeri only. Found just from one county. Semeni hallelujah.